I'm Dangerholm and it's time for another bike check. Today we're gonna take a closer look at my brand new custom built SCOTT Addict Gravel. This is a quite special build, not just in general but for myself as well, since it's my very first drop bar bike. I'm already riding quite a lot of gravel on my mountain bikes, so you better believe I was eager to get my hands on one of these. And man, it sure is a fast and fun bike. Not only is it based on the brand new, progressive and versatile SCOTT Addict Gravel chassis, but this particular bike I have here also features some really cool custom and even prototype stuff. So let's have a closer look at all the details. Starting at the heart of the bike, we have the Addict Gravel frame set. This is a brand new model for 2022, and the goal for the SCOTT engineers and designers was to create the perfect all-rounder. A bike that's fast on both tarmac and gravel, that's comfortable and that's capable enough for those longer adventurous rides. Frame weight always varies a bit depending on the paint job and the frame size, but it weighs from 935 grams and around 395 for the matching fork. Since I stripped my frame down to the bare carbon, you can see that it has an unusually good finish with almost no factory sanding. And I must say that it looks quite stunning with its modern aero tube shapes. It has clearance for 45mm tires, additional mounts on the top tube and on the down tube. It's compatible with both 1x and 2x drivetrains, and it even has dedicated fender mounts. Part of what makes the geometry so well rounded is the longer frame reach, longer fork rake, lower bottom bracket and a slightly shorter stem. A big feature and design element on the Addict Gravel is the integration and cable management. So up front there's the Synchros Creston IC-SLX handlebar combo, and not only does it look really good, it's also quite lightweight at just 335 grams. The one-piece design makes for great stiffness to weight ratio. At the back we have the arrow-shaped Synchros Duncan SL seat post that's held in place with a super clean seat clamp that blends very nicely with the frame. The seat post weighs just around 150 grams, features a very clever and easy to use clamping mechanism. If you have a keen eye, you've seen by now that there are some additional mounts on this very bike here. 4 extras on the frame and 2 on the seat post. And while these have been made by a carbon expert, they sure are warranty voiding, so don't go and drill holes in your frames now. The main reason that I added them was that I will have custom bags made for this bike. There will be a big one inside the front triangle and a smaller one at the back of the seat post. Unfortunately, they're not yet finished, but keep an eye on my Instagram to see that version later on. Before we move on to the rest of the components, let's talk a bit about the looks. This time I wanted to create the look that felt both raw and refined at the same time to kind of match the intended use and performance of the bike. So I went with a lot of raw carbon, matched to a wonderful color called Zanzibar Brown. This one can be found on certain Range Rovers and has also been available as an option for Audi. Depending on the light, it shifts between brown, bronze and gold tones, and it goes great with the raw carbon. To give the bike a sort of fast and aggressive look, I came up with this front-end heavy paint scheme, and to make it even more unique, I also painted the rims, so you definitely can spot this bike from a mile away. We've already talked about the Synchros Creston handlebar combo, and Synchros also have the grip tape and Garmin mount to match. The grip tape is available in different thicknesses, offering various levels of comfort depending on what you prefer, and it's super grippy. The Garmin mount is made by KH in the USA, and it offers adjustable tilt angle. The cables go through the handlebars via holes here at the bend, exit at the bottom of the stem, goes through special spacers and through the upper headset. The stem section features a cover for super clean looks, and it can be removed very easily in case you need to adjust something or just tighten the screws. As most of you probably know by now, it's not easy getting hold of components these days, so I'm actually running a SRAM Force left side lever and a SRAM Red right side lever. And while both have been stripped to raw carbon to match the frame, there is some magic going on inside the latter one. While electronic shifting works great, I wanted to run a traditional mechanical system on this bike, just because I like the sleeker looks of the rear derailleur, and also it allowed me to save a couple of grams. But I also wanted to run a mullet drivetrain with a 1x front and a 12-speed wide range cassette. So how do you make that happen when the shifter is made for 11 speeds? Luckily, there's a company called Ratio who make kits to convert 10 or 11 speed road shifters into 12 speed, and a matching kit to convert your Eagle mountain bike derailleur to work with them. Essentially, this is done with a ratchet which has 12 clicks, replacing the stock ratchets already sitting inside the shifter. While the procedure to change these might sound complicated, it's actually quite simple, much thanks to the detailed instructions. As for the derailleur, depending on frame design, the kit also replaces the cable wheel for a barrel adjusted rear entry and a new cable fin, giving a mountain bike derailleur the same cable pull ratio as a road derailleur. All in all, a really cool option and perfect if you for some reason don't want to go electronic, or maybe you already have some mechanical components ready to use. Let's continue on the derailleur because there's plenty more going on here. To save some weight and to make it into a little piece of art, I've upgraded it with hop carbon parts. This means that the B-knuckle, the parallelogram and even the pins holding it all together are made from carbon fiber. Further down we have a ceramic speed oversized pulley wheel system. Except for the composite cage and the incredibly smooth spinning ceramic bearings, it also features these huge pulley wheels. The reason for this is that big pulley wheels means that the chain links don't have to rotate as much when going through the derailleur cage, meaning less chain friction. The silver color is custom made by me. As always, when it comes to marginal gains and details like this, it won't make a night and day difference, but save a watt or two in several places like friction and aero, and it's a different story. Does an amateur rider like myself need it? Well, not really. But let's admit it, we're all nerds here and like nice things. Ceramic speed keeps most things on this bike spinning, and that includes the top quality bottom bracket. The crank arms are ceramic red, stripped down to bare carbon, and the weight is a very impressive 335 grams. All in all, it sure does spin well. Mounted to the ceramic cranks is a 46-tooth Garmin chainring. And being my first gravel bike, I was a bit unsure of what gearing to run, and turns out I kinda underestimated how fast this bike is. Because while I was very happy to have the 1:1 climbing gear ratio when doing steep switchback climbs in the mountains, I'm probably gonna get a bigger chainring too, just as an option. All this connects to the rear wheel with a SRAM XO1 chain going on a lightweight Rotor 1146 tooth cassette. Now on to something really interesting. Ultralight 3D printed prototype titanium pedals. These are made by German company Titanium, and I managed to get my hands on a pre-production set. They will come with steel axles or optional titanium ones, and the pedal body itself is 3D printed titanium. Instead of a traditional spring system, they work with leaf springs inside the pedal body itself. The cleats are 3D printed titanium as well. So what does these pedals weigh? Well, just 100 grams for the pair. The custom wheel set has been built by Radsporttechnik Müller, a wheel set specialist shop in Germany that will build you pretty much any wheel set you can dream of. The rims are called MGRX 45 and it's from Müller's own in-house brand, and it's an all-new gravel-specific model with some very impressive numbers. Despite having a massive 45mm height, 25mm inner rim width, they still weigh just around 405 to 410 grams per rim. That means you get the full package of aero, good tire volume at a very low weight. And while I have to admit that my custom paint adds around 18-20 grams per rim, I think it's totally worth it. The hubs are little works of art from German brand Thun called Prince and Princess. This is the top level hubs combining great quality, low weight and just stunning looks. I mean, just have a closer look at that carbon reinforcement ring around the front hub. They are available in all sorts of versions and colors, but here we have the non-boost 6-bolt disc hub interface, carbon end caps and ceramic bearings version. Through axles is a quite underrated place to save some weight, since you don't lose any performance as such. So here I'm running a lightweight set from Italian brand Carbon TI. The Addict Gravel can run 140 or 160 brake discs on the rear and 160 or 180 on the front. And currently I'm on the smallest setup using Trixaf Dechle UL brake discs, with UL of course standing for ultra light. A nice feature on them is that the edges are chamfered, making wheel installation much easier. And now on to another prototype part. These are the new road and gravel specific flat mount disc brake calipers from Trick Stuff. And I was lucky to get myself a pre-production set for this bike. They're actually so new that I don't have that many facts to share about them yet. What I do know is that they're said to be called Strada, and the caliper body is quite massive. They weigh a couple grams more than the SRAM Red calipers, but the big surface area should help with heat dissipation, and they sure does look quite stiff. The brake pads have titanium backing plates, but I can tell you that they definitely work. I've already done some descending, going 80 kilometers per hour into hairpin corners, having to slam the brakes, and luckily for me, the bike slowed down under full control. And while performance is the #1 priority when it comes to brake, it sure doesn't hurt that they also look so damn good. Coming from mountain bikes, it was actually a bit difficult to choose tires for this bike. Thread patterns for gravel tires are just a bit different in general. In the end, I opted for Maxxis 45mm Ramblers, and so far I've been very happy with them. I'm using Synchros Eco Sealant to seal them up. On top of the Synchros Duncan SL seat post is a Schmolke Carbon SL79 saddle, weighing, you guessed it, 79 grams. And while it's easy to think that full carbon saddles must be super uncomfortable, it couldn't be further from the truth. Because actually, the saddle shell provides a lot of flex, and the slippery surface makes for less friction. So as long as the shape is right, they're actually very comfortable, and this one right here is one of the best saddles I've ever had. To finish it all off, I'm using Synchros bottle cages, and I'm currently using a Matchbox coupe cage with a built-in multi-tool and a lightweight coupe cage 1.0 carbon, which is new for 2022. So that's it, my new SCOTT Addict Gravel. Can't even begin to tell you how pleasantly surprised I was by this bike. It's just so much fun to ride, so I can't wait to go and ride some more on it. And I also can't wait to see what you guys have to say about it. I hope you like it, and thanks for watching.